right, hello everybody. Welcome to the weekly collective reading. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh, and a very happy Apollo is behind us. He says, I wish I had about 2 more minutes on that walk, Dad. Thanks everybody for giving me a couple minutes to take care of him, and it's great to see all of you. I hope you're having a great weekend, and thank you for picking an interesting topic today. I think I forgot to put it in the title. I'll do that while we're talking, but today we're basically looking at ways to basically remove the block. Find the lesson, remove the block is, I believe, exactly what it was on the tab here. So while I'm getting everything set up, just kind of letting you know where we're at. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. This collective reading is going to bring us through the next week here and help us navigate all the twists, the turns, the opportunities, and I hope you enjoy it. I'm not going to worry about the title because we got stuff to do. I'll do that on the other side. You can see it on the teaser graphic. So first things first, I always like to begin my readings with channeled messages. Channeled messages come from dreams. And you know what? One of the topics was actually one of the possible things that we could look at. So Spirit found a way of integrating this, even though you guys chose a different topic. So let's get into the dreams and the messages here. So, as you know, meditation and also dreams are forms of divination. And what I picked up on in dreams yesterday, coming into today, was this beautiful image of like worker bees creating the next queen bee. And they were kind of showing me the process and saying, I literally kind of got the download royal jelly. And I did a little research, and I remembered from before that if there's a queen that's either aging or sick, or there's no queen, which was the case in this dream, worker bees will inundate one of the larvae with this basically royal jelly, which activates certain morphology within the bee to become a queen. So it's like they have these genetic markers, and when a certain chemical compound hits their sort of DNA strand, then all of a sudden the queen bee comes forth. And I thought about this a little bit today, and even though it's not our main topic, it's still making an appearance here because that's what Spirit brought through. And it's saying that we all have the capacity within ourselves to activate leadership qualities, to rise to the occasion, right? And step into the queen bee role. And I'm using that as, just generic. It doesn't matter what you identify as. Queen bee is just sort of like this ability to create, nurture, and bring things in order. She's an organizational force too. So even though it's not our special topic today, it's still something Spirit felt strongly enough to bring through in dreams. So I'm going to highlight that. You have the capacity to step up to a challenging situation and basically do it with aplomb, do it with grace, and surprise yourself. So I'm encouraging you to activate your inner power, kind of like a superpower. A lot of when we look at any of the, Marvel movies or DC Comics or whatever, a lot of times people accidentally discover their powers, or X-Men or whatever. And so it's kind of like you have something latent beneath the surface that you haven't been working with a lot. And this week, it's coming to the surface, and it's going to be good, okay? So for those of you that wanted the queen bee, she came through anyway, because that's what queen bees do. And part of this might be just figuring out how to, it's like practice makes perfect too. So the activation may be a trial and error sort of thing, but it's there, folks, or it wouldn't have come through. I also got the number 20 associated with this. So the 20th, there were 20 bees in the dreams. There's only so much room to put stuff here in this particular slide. So I did get a number indicator, and we are almost at the 20th. So something really cool could be happening there. The genesis of something, or the announcement of something, all right? Now on to the next one. And this one is closer to what you chose for the special topic here. So the other thing that I saw in the same tree while I was dreaming were all of at first I thought they were spider webs, and then I thought back to when I used to live on the East Coast. We would get these webworm cocoons in the trees, and it would be like this canopy of silk, basically. It sounds nicer than it is because it doesn't look great. But from this emerged these little beautiful white moths. And typically this isn't going to kill the tree, but it's not good for the tree either. But we're going to focus just on the metamorphosis because I'm not judging the insects. I'm looking at what their qualities are. So this is saying that one, there was an activation in the previous message. So you have the ability to activate a latent sort of thing that you may not have expected, and all of a sudden it's coming forth. And now we see that there's a developmental piece coming through. This is typically tied to late summer. And again, I'm reading in the Northern Hemisphere, so I'll just use my seasons as the marker. So probably we're looking at like August. So there could be something you're doing right now that could be around August or September, right before the seasons change. It's basically an indication for you to be patient and to continue to have some fun over the course of the next half or 3/4 of the year. So yes, we're looking at a week, but I'm a medium and I pick up on messages that may be beyond the week, and that's what this is about. Avoid getting stuck. That's why basically both of the top 2 choices made it to my dreams, so I'm cool with that. And whatever you guys vote on is what we're going to cover. So I just wanted to kind of like highlight both of those messages. We're going to get into the 7-day forecast first, then we'll go into an elemental breakdown, and then we'll take a look at a very Saturn-based thing. That's why I featured in the little emoji, how to identify a block so that you can release it, so that you can thrive, so that good stuff can happen. All right, let's get started here. I'll focus the camera. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you. Hope you had a good weekend, and I hope you're ready for the week ahead. We got some work to do, right? Wasn't that the Scooby-Doo song? It was Scooby-Doo, yes. We've got some work to do. I'm glad you guys like the topics. I'm trying to change them up. A lot of times they will reappear, and sometimes I will choose, but like today, sometimes Spirit will also just help us and say, you know what, we're going to cover a little bit of both. And for those of you, I think we have a holiday this week. So happy, is it Martin Luther King Day this week? So for those of you that are celebrating, happy holiday if you have tomorrow off. I'm going to be using the Afro Goddess deck probably for the main spread. So we'll see what else comes through. Okay, let's get started, folks. We're going to begin with the energy for today. And of course, we're looking at Sunday, and today is a day to basically make some slow and steady progress. You know I love this little feature in the corner. We have our snail there, but we also have tons of abundance. And there's a reminder here not to discount the power of communication today, because this bird represents messages that are outgoing and incoming. And so, because it looks like a falcon or something, right? So whether it's a falcon, a pigeon, or whatever, a dove, it's basically a chance to send and receive. So this is also about sending and receiving messages based on your worth and also making decisions on that. So if something isn't meeting your standards, or if it's just not good enough or something, you can also say why, and you're communicating your experience, your worth, your value, and you could also be planning to do that. Also, if something doesn't, if it's too expensive because this card was reversed, you could also be pushing back on that and saying, please break it down, help me understand why I'm going to spend this much time, energy, etc. Ultimately, what I was just talking about in the channeled messages connects with the little snail. So the half to 3/4 of the year, so June to almost September, this is when some magic stuff starts to happen. I think it's like July and August, really, that's where the sweet spot is. So plant the seeds now, see them grow throughout the year, and you're basically setting yourself up for good stuff. Today is a day to get stuff done. It's also a great time to work independently. This is a fiercely independent card. You don't have to do everything on your own, but there is some value to just sort of sorting out your energy first and foremost, okay? It's a good day for money, for value, for worth, for projects, and it's a great way to get things set up for the week. Monday's interesting. Let's talk about Monday. Okay, we have here 5 of Pentacles, everybody's favorite card. So the 5 of Pentacles, it's really about all the work that I just told you to do will help you overcome this and just get you straight to the Six of Pentacles. But for those of you that watch it and you're like, I didn't watch it on Sunday, the Five of Pentacles, it's typically an echo of the past. And it's really nicely connected to the special topic that the majority chose today. So if you haven't learned a lesson in any part of your life, in relationships, in business, in personal health and well-being, it cycles around. We got through our Mercury retrograde, but lessons will come around whenever we need to learn them. And so there's a little test this week where you get a chance to basically say no to something that just isn't right for you. This could be someone in your life that tends to ignore you or takes you for granted. It could be a place that you work where you're working nonstop and you never get the support you need, whether it's, moral support or actual financial support. It's looking at where there's a lack and saying, I think I'm done with that. We talk a lot about pain as a teacher, aggravation, that's another teacher, and then lack. We don't need lack as a teacher anymore. So what you're starting to understand is it's sometimes okay, if not better, to just sort of walk away from this or say no. So if you need to do that, do that. It's also a time to ask if you need to. I've seen certain decks where it almost reminds me of like Oliver Twist reaching out and saying, can he have more? Of course he should have more and he needs to speak up, but sometimes people push back on that. And it's not the person asking who's wrong. If you can't get the support you need after you've asked, time to look for something else. And that's the main message here, is just keep your standards high this week and keep your expectations high. And if you're not getting what you need, it's time to explore different avenues. Take care of your health. This can simply be being run down. We see sickness in this card, so it can be a cold. Not a really bad card for like that either. It's something like congestion, sore throat, seasonal sort of things that will hit us, even allergies for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere. And so this is basically saying just take care of yourself. Obviously, we see this person barefooted. I always mention the feet are a place of tenderness or sensitivity when this card comes up. So make sure that you have proper footwear, that you're not multitasking while you're walking, and you just take a break, okay? And then when it comes to money, don't overspend. Obviously, we can read it at face value, okay? So Monday is a day to just really be picky, discerning, and focus on yourself, okay? And yes, and just saying, so one of the ways that you can release the lesson is to, and this is why we're focusing on it. We got our first one already. So thank you, Saturn, already gave us one message. Say thank you for the lessons I've learned when I was lacking something. I don't need to feel that anymore. I can find other ways to advocate for my health or for my well-being. And you just release it and say, I'm ready to receive an upgrade, and I'm ready to learn from the higher frequencies of abundance and love and et cetera, et cetera. Okay, that's good because you start to manifest on Tuesday. On Tuesday, we have the Magician reversed. Don't doubt yourself. In other words, if we put it in affirmative words, trust your instincts and focus. Whenever this card is reversed, it's still powerful, but you have to trust what you're receiving and do less, but do it better. The Magician, when reversed, can also be like a rookie mistake for anybody who's just graduated or just mastered something where it's like, I want to prove that I can do this by showing that I can do all of it at once. Just pick one thing and really make it amazing, okay? You pick one of those 4 elements and really put your energy behind it. We've had a lot of swords. We had a sword today for the overarching sort of, I do a daily check-in as well, so we could combine that with the 9 of Pentacles, and it's about speaking or acting on those financial matters. That's how you can actually combine the two. This is the area of growth. The other one can be like the tool to help you accomplish that. But anyway, for this, pick one of those tools and really focus on it. You're fine. Your thoughts manifest. This is why you want to be careful about how you're thinking about your life. If you think I'm stuck, the Magician's going to keep you stuck. If you think I'm not worth this, then this is going to bring in people, places, and opportunities that reinforce the lesson. So we're going to instead try to manifest the things we want, the things we know we deserve, and we're going to try to recharge ourselves and reconnect with our power. Meditation would be great, by the way. That was another dream message that I got the other day was, if you just give yourself 5 minutes, you may go so deep in a meditative state that you'll say, I want to stay here. Meditation can be dance. Meditation can be writing. It can be sitting and going Om. it can be any number of things. It's not just closing your eyes. So try the different meditative techniques that are out there. Singing bowls like we do at the end of this. There's so many things, so I just want to encourage you there. Healing is what the midweek is all about. 3 of Swords reversed. We want to see this card in the reverse because it means a lessening of pain. There's still a little bit of something that needs to sort of come to the surface. Sometimes this happens when we think we're through something, and then all of a sudden you go into the closet and a picture falls down and you're like, oh, I remember that. Or you hear a song on the radio, or someone says something about someone who you haven't thought about in a long time. It's hitting me more as a person than a thing. So I feel like there could be a person that you broke up with, a person that's in spirit now, or someone that you'd rather forget, and for whatever reason, they cross your mind. Think of it, if you will, kind of like a breeze going across my patio. It's not going to linger for long. It's just going to be there long enough to remind you you're better now. You're on the road to improvement. And that is just sort of like a shadow of the past. Another lesson that's coming through. But there may be something there, whether it's anger, sadness, fear, frustration, and that's what you want to address. And there's multiple ways you can do that. You can talk to somebody. You can simply breathe through it. Breathing is one of the most amazing techniques for processing energy. So pranayamic breathing, so many different things that you can do. Whatever works, a little bit of healing. There could be a disappointing bit of information that comes through. It could be a no, there could be a delay, but you're not going to let this take you away from all the cool stuff we see here, including the fact that we have Magician and High Priestess energy. Lots of good stuff, one little speed bump. That's all that is, a speed bump. You can continue to move past it. In fact, as we go to Thursday, we're already in a better place. And part of it is because Wednesday made you take stock and create balance. This is a very unusual, and I kind of really love it, interpretation of the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles is about building something that can last. Typically, we see someone in an archway, putting the final touches on something, some people with clipboards, giving them feedback or giving them praise. Here, this is just basically you embodying the energy of, really doing your best and knowing that it is your best with or without the validation. We do see people here also ready to support and validate you, but it's not for the validation that you're doing what you're doing. This is a good day for contracts. If you need to sign something, negotiate something. It's a great day to learn something, finish something. Great work can happen under the Three of Pentacles. And it's basically the stuff that you want to share with other people too. So for my writers and creative folks out there, and even like the scientists, anybody that's pulling things together in some sort of a form that others can enjoy it, this is the day to basically, get to the finish line or make some progress. So Thursday's great. Nothing to fear in the Three of Pentacles. It's just all good news. We see her balancing things out. Sorry. Yes, you can like and subscribe. I meant to just go to the different one. We can see her finding some balance. So balancing out the heart, going from this 3 to this 3 is probably the big thing, but there could be too many things on your plate. And so make sure that you are saying yes to what's important, but no to the things that aren't. It's bringing us to a high point of the week here, the High Priestess. So this is the day where you may actually see something manifest, or you stumble upon a synchronicity. And the main thing here, she's upright. So there was doubt on Tuesday, but there's no doubt when we get to Friday. So really just trust in it and say, thanks, thank you, yes, let's do it. Really, really embrace that energy. The other thing here is I was just talking about those of you that are putting something in writing, which was part of my daily message in my short video that I did. There's something powerful about planning. As I said in the 1 minute video that I do every day, sometimes it's just to help you remind you of the dream or the idea or the epiphany. And sometimes it's because when you put it on paper, the universe sees, oh, you're ready. It's like a contract with yourself. So it helps with organization and it helps with manifestation. It's a really good day to journal and set an intention for what it is that you feel ready to see, because she's the seer. So when you can see it here and when you can feel it here, and when your head isn't arguing with all of that, then all of a sudden some really good stuff happens, okay? So that's the message with the High Priestess. Great day for meditation, for creative work. Sky's the limit on Friday, okay? Whatever you want to put your mind to. I like what we see here on Saturday. Love, partnership, friendship. Beautifully illustrated Two of Cups. And this actually it nicely connects with this, because this could either be a loving embrace or it could be a healing embrace. So there could be someone coming into your life saying, I've got you. We're going to get through this. So a best friend, a lover, maybe both. Could just be someone coming through saying also, I like what you have to offer, whether it's like in work or in general, and they want to connect with you. So it's also a great day to make connections. This is the day to focus on relationships, existing, new, or the relationship with yourself, because that will help attract what we see in the Two of Cups. It's love. And it shows me that you have the potential to turn that Three of Swords, not just around, but like get it out of the picture. But Saturn, and also just the general message of knowing the lesson, we have to heal in order to receive. So it's important to do this. It's important to do this first, and then we can get this. And this is the payoff for that. And setting an intention that I am worthy and I am ready to receive love and abundance in the highest forms through the High Priestess will help sort of like just underline all of that as well. I keep doing that. I need to move that button. But by the way, if you like what you see here, please like and subscribe. While we're talking, I'm going to move that. I changed some things around on my board there. All right, good. That won't happen again. Okay. As we take a look at next Sunday, a week from today, here's what we've got. Sunday looks pretty darn good. We have the Eight of Wands. Things are picking up. You may just have a challenging time sort of keeping up with the pace. Look at all of these beautiful creatures running across, right? So everything's coming into focus, and I feel like as we look at the week beyond this week, it's going to probably just be a lot of things moving at once. Eight of Wands, what I like about the way they illustrated it here is so often you just see inanimate wands in the air and it's hard to relate to. Each one of those wands also represents a person around you. There's a community element to this. And so if you're feeling lost in the shuffle, overwhelmed, like you're trying to pick up the pace or catch up, we just learned here that you could reach out. So you could reach out and connect with one or more people so that there's options to basically partner, to work smarter, to not feel like, you have to do it all on your own, okay? It's a good week. Let's look at highlights and lowlights, and then we'll move on to the elemental forecast. So highlights of the week: Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday, for sure. On Tuesday, you're starting to lean into your power, but you have to focus. Friday, what you think actually starts to manifest in real time, and it really kind of starts on Thursday. I would just say it's a really good week overall, but those are the good days. And then this is a day to relax and have some fun. So I really like Saturday. The cautionary days where you could probably just focus on self-improvement and self-care is Monday and Wednesday. Wednesday, it's more of a speed bump. It's not a big deal because this card is reversed. Monday, it could be someone trying to get you involved in something that you know is going to exhaust you or be a waste of time and energy. So that is the 7-day forecast. Now we're going to move into an elemental breakdown, which is going to help us look a little deeper at fire, earth, air, and water. Let me see here. I just want to make sure I'm using some different decks here. Which one's calling to me? Yeah, this one will work. We'll do the stained glass because I'm going to do Aphrodite for the other one. Okay, here we go. So elemental. Fire, earth, air, and water. Okay, let's talk, folks. For my fire signs out there, we have star energy coming through. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. It's a great week. You can't really get much better than this card. It's showing me that you are, in this moment in time, really stepping into a place where maybe you finally believe in yourself, or you're seeing the fruits of your labor. And also it could just be a great time of creative or spiritual growth, because that's what the star can indicate. So have some fun with what you're doing in this moment in time. Be authentic, be bold, And really don't dim your light. The card is in the upright position. It's auspicious. There could also be just a really great energy coming into your life right now. This is a card of attention, celebrity, positive movement, connection to spirit, outreach. Like, there's nothing bad with the star. So it's a good week ahead. Embrace it. We already hit the highlight notes. I really feel like come Thursday, Friday, Saturday, those 3 days in a row actually is when you're really going to shine. Say yes to an invitation. Speak up at a meeting. Put yourself out there. The star shines. Okay? And that's all I need to say for that. It's all good news for the most part. Some of you may have a little bit of tendency to worry like how you're going to be received, but a little tip here, if you feel comfortable in your skin with whatever it is that you need to talk about or share, typically others feel the same way, okay? So get out of your headspace and just allow yourself to shine. We're not going to complicate it. It's an easy message. Moving on to the earth signs. All right, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. You're too much in your head. And there could be something this week where you feel like I'm stuck. And the truth of the matter is, maybe in this situation or maybe with that line of thinking you are, but there's a rock that you need to kind of lift up and look elsewhere. When the blindfolds are on in the Eight of Swords, it's basically saying you need to sort of look inward and decide, how did I get to this moment? And what is it really about? Because what people are saying, what people are doing, what's around you, it's a distraction. So it's simpler than you think. And notice how in this illustration, all she has to do is walk forward or walk backward. The swords are around her, but there's always a way out in the Eight of Swords. Some decks will even show like a bird in a cage and the cage is open, the door is open. Usually it is restrictive thoughts in our head or from others, or fear, or inaction, stagnation, that lead to this feeling of entrapment that this card represents. So free your mind, to use another song thing here, because I was talking about one other song in the daily. Free your mind from those sort of things that are limiting, that don't serve your highest good, and just try it. Try something different. And this is a day to take some risk, to try some new things. This is a week, I should say, to do all of that. And open your heart and your mind to new paths in front of you, okay? So do some soul searching and then just have some fun with the possibilities, because you've only got things to gain. You've got nothing to lose, only things to gain. So experiment. That's one of the best ways to get out of being stuck too, because clearly what isn't working, you don't want to keep trying the same thing. Try new things, and really try things that you want and feel like that you need to do. Don't just sort of randomly try things. So really tuning in. And this High Priestess energy around Friday will help you out with that, okay? All of the decks are on my website. Let me get through with the reading and then I'll identify them. Okay, let's move on to the next piece here. So we're going to move on to air signs. We have the Devil coming through here for Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Much like I just said with the Eight of Swords, this is coming through as I can't or it won't, as I'm looking at this. So I can't do this or it won't happen. And that's what the devil wants you to believe, but that's not actually the truth of the matter. It's a limiting thought. There may also be someone that says no, but it's auspicious because you don't want to connect with that. The person can't see you for what you are, and it's really a chance for you to avoid something that you have to force. I have a rule of thumb too. If I'm trying to get engagement with somebody, like for a business partnership, or if I want to hang out with somebody, if I try more than 2 times, it's not usually worth it. So I'm like, that's good. I'll move on to something else. They're not ready. So something in your life isn't fully baked or cooked, and that isn't what you should be focusing on anymore. So a no is a protective no, not a no that brings about this. So it's disappointing to not be able to move forward where you'd like to, but there's something better waiting for you when you shift your focus or attention, okay? The other thing with the Devil card is really making sure that you've sorted out all legal matters, all contractual matters, that if there's anything that you don't understand, that you get that sense of understanding and empowerment. And once you get out of that sort of headspace as well, then you can start to look at where you can put your attention. And again, just sort of briefly looking at the other cards during the week, what we saw here is you'll start to come into your sense of, I've got this on Tuesday. You're going to make some progress around Thursday, and it gets better after that. So a couple of hiccups, and I think my air signs are going to really be feeling it on Monday and Wednesday, but the rest of the week is pretty manageable. Don't let this impede with this or this. You can manifest a lot this week, but El Diablo wants to come through and make you feel like, for some reason, that you can't. I'm here to remind you that you can. It's just a matter of shifting your attention to things that are more receptive right now. Okay, moving on to water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, self-care. You know what? Because we chose such a Saturn-based message today where it's like, learn what the blocks are. The blocks are going to come through, folks. So here's where they are. What we're seeing in water is overwork. Some of you are just really, really feeling like, I'm done. And that's okay. Take a day off. Take a week off if you can. Take 5 minutes at least. Take care of yourself. Because if you don't, burnout can happen. Avoid just sort of like saying things that haven't been thought through. We really want to make sure that we're thinking before speaking or thinking before acting, because to me, this can just be a conversation, something that's been said that just you can't take back once you've done it. Chronic pain or fatigue. You may be overdue for a chiropractic adjustment, an appointment with a therapist, some time with your friends. It's self-care. And don't burn the candle at both ends. Much like the Five of Pentacles, this can also indicate sickness and or fatigue. So this is a day to rest. Here's the good news, folks. They did a good job here showing the sun in the background. So if we look beyond the person or the carnage in the front, we see a new day. And things are getting better. Sometimes you just have to get to the full stop and think, I'm beyond, like, okay, I know what I don't want, and I know that that is much better than this is or was. So it's just a moment to get some clarity. And again, for those heavier cards, it's the Monday and Wednesday energy where you're going to feel that the most. And I want you to recalibrate so that when we had the Magician or the High Priestess energy, you can start to turn the tide. So that's what we see there, okay? Really important messages across the board. So by the way, you can go to my website if you ever want to see these decks. They are listed there under the heading deck at the top. This one is the stained glass tarot, and this, it might hurt, I think is what this is called. It's a strange name for it. It might hurt tarot, which helps us see all the stuff that we need to see. They're all on my website. Okay, so give me a moment here, and now we're going to get into the special topic for today, which again was giving ourselves a chance to learn the lesson. I'm going to make sure that I say it exactly the way it was on the tab here where you voted. So the exact way: learn the lesson, release the block. I'm going to put that into chat for a second. So special topic, which we'll be focusing on next, is this, and I'm going to use the Afro Goddess deck for that in case anyone asks. And again, you can go to my website for more information on all of that. I put extended. We're not doing extended. We're doing special topic today. Oh, good times. Today, I can definitely, it doesn't feel, it's not a Mercury retrograde, but I can definitely feel that coming through here. So special topic is what I want to look at. Okay, give me 1 second, and I'm going to select the deck for the main reading, and then we'll begin. All right. If I haven't said it already, and I don't think I have, this reading is for everybody. The only thing that was specific was the elemental breakdown that we just did. So let's put that, I'm going to see if I can pin my comment there so we can look at this and remember it. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, there we go. Replace pin message. All right, so we're going to be focusing on this. Learn the lesson, release the block. Apollo's in the background, guys. Relax. Focus on the messages. We'll bring Apollo up at the end. I don't bring him up unnecessarily because then he'll dig in his little bed and it kind of disrupts his energy. Okay, focus, 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 focus. Okay, already synchronicities. I featured the Queen of Wands. We got the Eight of Wands. We've got the Royal Jelly here. They're creating a new queen. Cool energy. By the way, this deck is back in production. It was out of print for a while. There's a link on my website. I think it's on Amazon now, but it's not shipping for a few months. She went for like big distribution, so we'll see how it looks. Yeah, this was the perfect deck to choose. And yeah, for those who want to know the name, it's right there. Actually, let's do this. I want to use a different deck for this. All right. So just quickly again, because people are asking, I don't list all my Oracle decks because there are too many. One of these days I'll do it just as a plain text list. All of the tarot decks are on my website. And this is Afro Goddess, and there's a link on my website to the updated place where you can order it on Amazon. Okay, let's focus on the messages, not the cards, folks, so that we can get into this. I'm glad you like them, though. And I look really like I spent a lot of time trying to make sure I can get some good decks. So I understand. I will do this sometime this year. But for now, I need to show up for you and read the catalyst energy here. So we have the catalyst coming through. And the catalyst here is about, I kind of read this in a more general way, the Father. This is almost like the Emperor energy that is coming through. You may be dealing with parental energy in your life right now. So it may be with your dad. It could also just be your inner divine masculine. And yes, we have both divine masculine and feminine. So this is about taking action on things and reclamation of power. And some of you just feel uprooted at the moment because this card came through in the reverse state. So you may have just gotten through that 3 of Swords, 10 of Swords, or Tower energy that we picked up in the cards. And for many of you, the lesson here is you are going to be okay. Trees can be transplanted. It takes a lot of time and energy, and it'll be all right. I recently just got some new flowers, both for my porch and also in the house. And one of the things that I do is give them some time as they're getting settled, give them a few days before I water them, because they have to adjust to new temperatures, new environments. If you transplant them, I usually put them in a different space for a little bit, quarantine them, make sure they're okay. Give yourself time and energy, just like you would with a plant, and you're going to be all right. You'll be able to thrive. And it's just a period of recalibration, and that's really what that catalyst energy is bringing forth. Okay, now let's take a look at the centermost card, which could be the presenting lesson here for today. And it's exactly what I featured, which is exciting. So I'll bring that card up on the that we talked about here as well. So even though it didn't make the main special topic, here she is, the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, and she was upright the way I featured her. She's reversed in the deck. So this is a chance for you to basically, I talked about this a few weeks ago, referencing He-Man. You can say that you have the power and the capacity to do something. There was something magical about those 3 or 4 words. You have the power, you have the instincts, and all you have to do is say, I own it, I'm ready, let's do it. And a lot of the other stuff in the background is taken out on this deck, but what we have instead is the black cat, which is intuition, which is 9 lives. So if you didn't succeed before, you certainly can succeed now. We have an abundance of sunflowers, which are basically heliotropic, I think it is, but basically they follow the light. She's the light, you're the light. This is the week to lead the charge, others will follow. Even if they're not with you right now, they will eventually be with you. Even if you've had challenges along the way, you have the insight. That actually makes you more empathetic. You can more accurately contextualize and understand something because you've been through challenges. So lean into that this week, okay? In reverse, you might be dealing with someone who is a little bossy. It could be a father figure or it could be an authority figure. There's a cautionary note because tarot's really good at giving you everything you need to see. And it's saying, be the boss, but don't be bossy. There's a way that good leaders can just step in and say what needs to be done without like barking the order or things like that. We've all had examples of good and poor leadership. So exude that sort of good leadership and positivity, and that's going to go a long way, okay? Crossing the card, we just got this, folks, was the Eight of Wands, and I talked about the community element to this. So in this one, we see just that solo person literally in the throes and throwing one of those like javelins in the air or whatever. So this is a moment for you to collaborate and concentrate, and it's not always easy. I talked about my stint when I was in corporate environments. I really disliked the last 2 or 3 years when they went to an open workplace because I couldn't concentrate. I could smell what my neighbor was eating. I could hear what my other neighbor did last night, what this other coworker was dealing with someone across. Like it was everything at once. And I'm like, how am I supposed to concentrate? Because there was too much noise. Tune it out, folks. If you need to take a minute and take a call in a different space, if you need to clean your space a little bit, get things organized so that you can get a lot done. But there may be some too much around you. Because like I said, we need to kind of find a place where you can thrive. And for some of you, there may be more solo energy that you need to embrace this week. And I totally feel that. When it comes to business, projects, or personal development, the Eight of Wands is really, really auspicious because it just shows that things are getting off in a nice, sustainable way. You shouldn't have that many challenges once you get started in seeing things continue to progress. So I quite like that. Let me take a quick drink and then we're going to talk about the Queen in this one. Okay, thank you for that. It's a lot of talking. All right, so in the deep past, we have Three of Pentacles. So we have a beehive here, and ostensibly, these could be a couple of worker bees, and this is the new queen bee. And like I said, you may not feel like you're ready for whatever this leadership opportunity is, but this is also a card of mastery, meaning that whatever lesson karmically and cosmically you needed to learn, you've got it. This is in the karmic space, and it's just saying graduation. And you know, I think, again, the big opportunity is to step into leadership. Let's just pull these cards upright. You can lead it. You can do it. You just have to get past like disbelief or maybe overcompensation. If you want to go back and finish something, usually this is one where everything's done. So maybe there was something in your past. It could literally be something like school, because this can represent school. It can be a project. But it can just be a part of your life where you thought, I want to get that part finished and done, and I haven't had a chance to do it. Do it. This is a chance to complete that, and then that's going to free you up to learn and experience and have some great new things coming through. Okay? Yeah, I'm laughing too because it came through, folks. Well, what we see here though is a nice culmination of the two. The blocks are all like the bees helping us move beyond it. It's showing us the developmental piece. All the blocks are coming through with the challenging cards or the reversals. So we're getting a blessing and a blending of the two. So I feel happy because intuitively I was really connecting with the bee energy, but collectively you guys were connecting with the blocks. So we're going to blend the two together. So the big opportunity this week is to be decisive and to basically do the right thing. And both of those things sound easy when you utter those words or see it on paper, But let's face it, making a decision, that's one of the most challenging things sometimes that you can, especially when you're faced with two really good options, you're like, or two not so good options. When it's not obvious, it's very nuanced and you have to think, gosh, I don't know. But you do know, and that's what this card is saying. So once again, we're letting go of sadness, frustration, a feeling of lack as a teacher. We're really finding a place where we don't have to sacrifice our happiness or our worth to get something done or to be popular or whatever. And we're ready for the open door that's behind justice here. So all you have to do is take that sword and say, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to do. And be decisive in the delivery. It's a yes card, so you're saying yes to something. Reversed, it's saying no. Upright, it's saying yes. So don't be afraid to say yes to something or to declare something that is already kind of decided. It just requires the final articulation and a couple of gears to move in your head. And again, try not to be too much in your head space with this, because I do believe it's easier, and we have the tendency, this is one of my new favorite graphics, to just sort of think, well, what about this and what about that? And will this work? Don't complicate it. Just do it, okay? And that's what we've got for justice. This week, we could actually be seeing a new partnership energy come through. The Prince of Cups here, the Son of Cups, the Knight of Cups, however we want to say it, is basically either you putting yourself out there to the world or something coming in, and it's good news and it's love and it's happiness. And I like that we actually have an albino peacock here. What makes you completely unlike the rest is what exactly you need to bring forth this week. This is not a time to kind of like, what's the best word? Blend in, homogenize, make everything kind of like bland, stand out, and be yourself. And it's not a time to be subtle. Could be a fun Pisces coming into your life too. I see all the little koi fish there. So show your emotions, be creative, be open and receptive. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there and to articulate your wants, your needs, your desires, and to say, yes, I can. Yes, I am. Yes, let's do this. You found the balance. You're starting to have some fun with that. Okay? All right. Now we have an interesting card. Back into the Saturn energy. Going from the Bee to the Saturn energy. We're looking at another thing that we need to focus on. Learn the lesson. You're the one steering the ship, or you can be the one steering the ship if you want to. It may be time to take the wheel back if you've been letting someone else drive. And what do I mean by that? If someone's been making the financial decisions, if someone's been dictating who you should hang out with, who you should date, what you should do, how you should dress, whatever, it could be any number of things. The Chariot is control, and the Chariot is also a card where you can fight for that control back if you need it. So just say, no, this is what I'm going to do, and this is why. You don't even have to explain yourself, just do it. Take the wheel and steer. There's a course correction that's necessary in reverse. It's kind of like cranking the wheel to get out of a parking space or turning left or turning right. You got to do a little bit of cranking on this one to make it happen. So a little bit of effort on your part, but it's worth it. And the result here is going from this sort of dearth of opportunity to the wealth that's over here. So I see you in a pivoting point. It may take more than a week to do it, but continue to put yourself out there. And honestly, people start to learn from modeling. So the more you say, this is how it's going to be done, and you keep doing it, the more they realize, okay, this is the new you, isn't it? Okay. Let's see here. The other thing is you don't have to get on board with something that you're not on board with. So this can be someone trying to take you for a crazy ride, and you don't need to go on that ride. It could be a family member. It could be someone who just likes to get their way. Whoever it is, I don't know if I trust their direction. And so you don't need to say yes. Just like we used to be pickier before Uber and Lyft and all the rideshare options out there. Like when I was a kid, you never said yes to a stranger or got into their car. Now we find apps and we hop into them. But same sort of thing there is you really want to make sure you understand who it is that you're connecting with. And if you don't agree with them, don't do it. find a different ride, find a different way. All right, I love what I see coming through here for you. There's a little bit of doubt, but there's a lot of great energy here. So 10 of Pentacles reversed. The reversal of this, another message, another lesson to release is peer pressure. So this can be mom or dad coming through. This can be siblings. This can be best friends. Someone that's close, blood, love, or friend energy coming through. And there could be a little connection to that Chariot car. Come on, let's do this. You've always done this. Or, well, you know, this would make your father, this would make your mother, this would make your aunt happy. Okay, but does it make you happy? That's all that matters. If you've experienced a period of loss, we had like 5 of Pentacles energy coming through. We have the rainbow now here. So the healing is starting to come through, and there's a road to prosperity in front of you. There are plenty of people that can and will celebrate you as you are. So just another lyric, come as you are, like the Nirvana song, but be yourself, be exactly who you are. And if that's not good enough, that's not your problem. Because I'm your tarot reader, I'm not your parent, your friend, or your family member. I'm saying you've got to just focus on you, and I want you to be happy, all right? There could be a really big and fast move that's happening, kind of like a rug being pulled out from underneath you. A relationship could get serious really quickly. All of a sudden, someone says, move in with me, or let's get married, or you get a chance. This is your Queen Bee energy coming back. Or someone says, we want you to move for this new position at work. And it's just sort of like everything at once. And that's just as discombobulating when you go from lack to abundance. So breathe, center yourself, and just think, yeah, I've earned this, haven't I? Yeah, I can do this. Okay. Better days are ahead. Okay. In the environment is what we were just talking about, the world reversed. It's all that I just said. Massive changes for the better. And it's usually a lot easier to deal with world energy reversed than tower energy reversed, but it's still a lot to take in. Like if we figuratively think about it, your world's turned upside down or inside out, something big, and it's basically, you can't just hit rewind or replay like you can on a streaming service and go back to the way you were yesterday. So sometimes it's like Pandora or a genie. Once it's out of the bottle, it's out of the bottle. So this is basically, or the box, this is saying you can't go back to yesterday. You can only move forward. And the only way out is through. Any number of those overused statements, but you get what I'm saying. It's embrace it. And it might be time. This is your environment. It might be time for a move. I know I had to do that a year ago, and it's not easy. And you want to make sure that when you make that next step, it's into what we see here. So, by the way, these are 2 nice complementary cards. Be picky, discerning, and clear so you can get to that rainbow energy here and step into success. So it's all set up. It's just a matter of clarity and belief and acceptance of like, yeah, this is happening. Hopes, fears, and opportunity. This is so synchronistic because we got the Magician reversed as well for, early on in the week. Was it Tuesday, I think it was. So anyway, the Magician was early on. You can go and rewind. With the card reversed, same message here. Just focus and believe. This is almost Excalibur-esque. If something comes through and you can do it, it's because you've called it in. You've called in the synchronicity, and nobody but you would be ready for that. That's not great grammar, but you know what I'm talking about. You're the right one. So just trust and go for it. King Arthur had to pull that sword out. You've got to take the initial action. So don't be afraid to claim what's rightfully yours, to give it a shot, to have some fun. This Magician's definitely connecting with higher energy. So the Magician is a medium in the tarot spread. And what she's doing is saying, as above, so below. The so below is basically you become the conduit to breathe life and ground it into the physical. And so just allow yourself to receive and to take the steps. Once spirit starts guiding you, it's easy. And it just comes through your through your throat, through your arms. You're just going to be sort of like, it'll be almost like you're walking into a set and all you have to do is say your lines. So it feels like manifestation is there. Again, as long as you don't get in your headspace too much. Also, these two are like, there's a very nuanced reading of Magician or High Priestess reverse. It can be a manipulative force. So there can be someone here, again, someone who comes through in a mentorship kind of capacity that tries to strong arm you in their own way. There comes a point when you graduate from the teacher, and it feels like you don't necessarily need to follow the same path as they did. It worked for them, it may not work for you. And that's okay. And that's why you are ready to step into something bigger, better, brighter. By the way, we have the two bookends here. The world is the end and the fool is the beginning. And this is a very soft and approachable change. We didn't get the Ten of Swords. We didn't get the Tower. And we didn't get the Devil here. They all came up in the elemental forecast. But when I'm looking at the main spread, it's a lot more manageable. And so the Fool is super unbothered. It's one of my favorite Fool cards. She's like, take me or leave me. And all I'm doing is spouting out song lyrics. That's the one from like Rent. But you can take it or leave it and just kind of go with it. What I like about this too is you're not bringing your troubles, your worries. The lessons, yes, but they're in the heart, they're in the head, but you don't have to bring baggage. I think the main opportunity as you step into the next week so that you can release the message is simply to say, this is a new start. I don't have to worry about repeating that, right? Her dog is in the background saying, don't forget to have some fun. And that's actually something that the Fool does really well. The traditional, if it's a Rider-Waite-Smith derivative deck, you're always going to see a Fool, a dog with the Fool. And so it's basically there to help you stay out of trouble, because usually it's tugging at the foot of the Fool, or it's there to show you something or to remind you to have some fun. So that's something Apollo does a good job with. He's right behind me. He's just snuggled up and having a good time. So we'll bring him up at the end. But have some fun. Do some things to let loose and to really just enjoy this week as well. Okay. Give me a second here because I just hit one of the cards here. We're going to now we're going to go into the expanded forecast. And we're going to take a look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. And let me just make sure that I didn't turn the chameleon card in the wrong direction. I'm going to go backwards for a second and just, let's see. No, it was upright. Good. Okay, so we're going to start off with the energy of health and well-being. So in this energy, we have, hello, blaze brightly. Lots and lots of synchronistic energy coming through. So with this, some of you may just be holding back a little bit. Remember when I had the star card coming through for, was it fire signs, I believe? So for you, sorry, not that. I keep hitting the wrong keys because I was trying to go backward. For whoever received it, I think it was fire signs. Don't be afraid to really just put it all out there and to be yourself. This is also helping you connect with passion in your life, something that rarely makes it to the special topic. But this is a time to follow your passion and do things that make you feel alive and really engaged, okay? Lots of solar energy on this one as well, which I love. So this is a great time to do some, like in yoga, sun salutes. Take time to see a sunrise or sunset, focus on solar plexus energy, and really just lean into all of that power and all of that passion. And you've got this, folks. Now let's look at some additional messages around health. I need to clear my sinuses, so I'm going to do that in the other room, and then we'll get into the additional messages for health. Hey, buddy. All right. So some of you may need to do what I just did, which is to deal with any sort of allergies or anything that might be environmentally causing you to sneeze, dust, etc. Please do that if you need to. Looking at some of the other messages here. All right, so we already highlighted this, but something needs to change or shift in the living conditions. This can just be you clearing it out and really kind of nesting, right? So When the dust settles, it feels like home. But sometimes, especially if you move for work or something, you may go straight into work and you've never unpacked your boxes. So if you're in a place where it's 3, 6, 8, 12 months after you've moved in and there's still some boxes, do yourself a favor today, and one at a time. And you can do it, each week, get rid of one of those boxes, because I know it takes sometimes more than a day. But you will get it cleaned out, and in a month's time, you're going to look around and think, wow, it'll probably take more than a week. And same thing when you're starting to kind of like ease into something. Maybe it's also getting used to the new neighborhood. So go get a coffee at the cafe, bring a book, bring your iPad or something, and just sit down for a little bit. Give yourself a chance to meet people, and it happens naturally. And so step by step, bit by bit, you're going to get there. It took me 1 year to get settled here, and now I know the neighbors, I know the neighborhood, I feel good, I've started to get some furniture and stuff like that. It takes time, so trust me, I know it, but it's worth the energy of feeling more at home. Let's see what else is coming through for you. This is really interesting for health. Some of you may be researching healthier or better ways to live your life. This is about reading a book, listening to a podcast, possibly learning, going to school, getting training. So I totally can get behind that as well. And also we were talking about the royal jelly. So when you start to change your nutritional intake, just as the queen bee starts to sort of like come from a regular larva, you can also emerge stronger, better, more powerful as you start to make these changes, but it takes time. So the cocooning energy, the larval stage, it's basically saying give yourself a little bit of time to get there. Finding balance in your life is going to be important. When the card is upright here, the Justice card, it's just about making sure that you do what's right for you. And that's a common thread as I've been looking at the cards today, is to just speak up when necessary. The Chariot card is a change of direction. The World card reverse is a change of direction. And for many of you here, again, just leaning into things that are good for you and giving people around you time to adjust, because if they truly love you unconditionally, they're not going to force you into something. So that's again what I'm getting here. Most of the messages around health are pretty manageable. The Fool and the Splendid Torch are just coming through saying, have a good time, have some fun, do some things that matter for you, get out, walk around, settle in your space, clean your space out a bit, and clean your sinuses like I did. Do whatever you need to do for clearing and cleaning, and you're going to be all right. The Magician and the Three of Pentacles in reverse can also be, this is sort of like the alchemist or pharmacist energy when it's the Magician, and Three of Pentacles is like prescriptions. So talking to your primary physician or whoever, if you have any sort of like prescriptions already, making sure that the dosage and the interactions, that there's nothing there that's kind of off a little bit, because there may be a dosage change that needs to happen, or you may not need something anymore because the chemistry's changed in your body. You have to work with a doctor on that. And there also could be a deficiency, mineral, usually when we're looking at earth elements like pentacles. So you may be missing some sort of a mineral in your life. So it's a good time to kind of get blood work done if you haven't done that in a while, and get some advice. But I have to say it's pretty manageable right now. Not looking at a lot of things. I feel like we already hit on the health messages in both the 7-day and the elemental forecast, looking at the foot and ankles, looking at not overworking yourself too much, any chronic pain or fatigue. So all of those messages from earlier in the reading you can listen to, and it may be fine-tuned for certain elements, so you can listen to those. Let's transition into wealth here. I love this. It is so perfectly connected to what we saw with the Queen at the center, the Queen of Wands and the Queen Bee. Chameleon spirit. Act as if ... you can do it. Chameleons can blend in to any situation. You can basically rise to the occasion. You can blend in with a crowd that you normally wouldn't associate with. You can be as conspicuous or as inconspicuous as you would like to be. it's a really good energy. So the question is, do you want or need to shine, or are you just trying to step back and watch what other people are doing? There's no wrong answer on this one. We did see that many of you may benefit from really leaning into the star power. So this is the time to do that if you are ready for that. Let's look at some energies around wealth right now. Okay, so I really like this. Like I said, when it comes to business, the Eight of Wands just shows like productivity, active energy. You're on a roll basically with this card as well, and I like that. Don't be afraid to step up, to speak up, to be the boss but not be bossy. Again, that's kind of like the the takeaway with those two. Let's see what else is going on here. You have the ability to come out from the sort of like being a wallflower to being very much visible and seen, and people may wonder, like, did you always have that voice, that vision, that sort of idea? And I think many of you are just starting to realize, yes, and this is exactly what I should be saying, doing, etc. Let's break this down so we can get a little bit more granular. We're going to focus on those in a job, looking for a job, and either retired or students, because both of you really aren't focusing on the work element as much. If you're in a current job, the biggest challenge right now is in power dynamics. These are two bossy cards. This is like one of the biggest bosses in the minor arcana and court cards, and this is pretty much on par with it. Because I would expect if we had Empress energy here, it would be like, might have met your match. But with the Chariot card, you guys are on even. This is even possibly a little bit bossier than the Chariot, depending on how you fight or how you look at it. The Chariot fights a little bit more, argues a little bit more. This person's a little bit pushier. So we're just seeing leadership styles and communication styles where you're butting heads. So the biggest opportunity here is to find new ways and better ways to communicate. And it's appealing to somebody's passion, trying to see it from their perspective, maybe taking something and showing them a different way to interpret it. Just use your skills here. And we see that with the Magician. One of your biggest challenges and opportunities also is how to basically, this is activating the superpower that we talked about earlier, the royal jelly. It's saying, you know what, I actually, in addition to my communication skills, I have some business skills, I'm pretty creative. Like, you can bring a lot of different things to the table. Don't be afraid to show that. And you may have somebody come through and say, well, all right, it's great that you can do all of these things. Which one do you like the most? And this is where it gets challenging, right? I had an interview like that once at a job that I was at. And I years later, the response I would have given, this is after 4 years of freelancing there, I would have said, there's no reason I should have to choose between these. These are complementary skills. And if you're asking me that, it just shows me you need to do a little more homework on this role. This was a new manager that came in, and they just messed up everything. They lost half of the group, and they pitted people against each other and asked silly questions. I'm glad I didn't stay. It didn't matter. At that point, I'm like, you just don't get it. You've been here all of a month and you're making these decisions, and it's not worth it. But you may have to decide. I made a decision for myself that I didn't want to change myself to please them. I was authentic, and I knew when I was authentic that the job was done. I left a month later. I didn't want to stick around for what was to come. And it was a good choice, because then I got into one of the best jobs in my career. So sometimes you just have to walk away from a sinking ship, or realize that it's better to be yourself than to stay and try to be something that you're not. It's a really powerful message. And you get to steer the ship and decide where, if, how, and when you want to make the change. It's already happening. And you can find something else if you need to. You should be able to be yourself. That's the main thing here. And by the way, you are worth an upgrade at this point. This could be additional pay. This could be additional title. This could be something new, just a change in general, because the same old gets boring after a while. And maybe some of you want to do additional travel as well. The good news here with everything here, it's all possibilities. This is the self, this is the environment, this is the opportunities, this is the outcome. We have abundance, we have big change, we have power, and we have a clean slate. They're all good cards. There's nothing bad here. And so for everybody, it's a good month when we're looking at wealth. For everything, it's actually good. There's nothing negative in these. There are nuances to pay attention to, but they're all positive cards. And it makes it easier for me to read because the news is easier. But with that being said, let me just see if there's anything you need to focus on if you're currently at a job. I think it's just taking the first step towards asking a question or making the change. And you've got to believe in yourself if you do it. Until you're ready to believe in yourself, don't start the conversation just yet. If you are ready to go back to school or you just got some training, make sure that they know about that. That can open up new money opportunities in particular for you. For those of you that are job seeking, here's what I see. You have to make sure that things pass the litmus test or the smell test. Does it feel like it's what you want? If it doesn't, don't do it. I've got this justice card here where she's really sort of thinking, been there, done that. I really feel like this is a chance to pivot in a new direction for some of you. What can be a little bit scary is that it's starting from a new level. When I left behind the corporate career, I had to start this at scratch. I had to wait 2 years so I could save up enough because you don't make any money when you start a business sometimes. And I certainly didn't make much. No, it was pretty much a deficit the first year. I made money, but I was still taking a lot from savings. So sometimes when you start, it's that kind of decision where you're going to create the foundation so that you can start something new. And it takes 2 to 3 years to really land, and then things are good. But it's worth it. It's worth the hard work. I didn't know how much hard work was involved. Ignorance is bliss sometimes. But I was ready and willing to give it a shot. So if you're ready and willing to do it, you have what it takes, but you have to be ready for that change. For everyone else, here's what I see. Trust in the chemistry. Like when you meet somebody, it should just be easy. You should feel fireworks. It should be like, oh yeah, this is it. This is what I want to do. If you're not feeling this kind of vibe, folks, the question is, why are you doing it? Why are you connecting with something where it's just ho-hum? This is especially if you're working and seeking a job, which can be this category. You can be pickier then. I know sometimes when you're looking and it's been a while, you're going to take what you can get. But this is really inviting you to connect with the heart space a little bit and make sure that you feel the fireworks. You should feel the chemistry on the Magician. And if you don't, really try to only go after stuff where you have this sort of like, passion. A move could be advantageous. The World card is a move. A change could be advantageous. So changing career trajectory, moving to a different location. I do see more money coming in this time. Sometimes, by the way, if you can't get what you're looking for, you have to move to a different place to get the new title or the new pay. So that's why I almost never, I don't know why I haven't thought of this before, but sometimes you have a job, you're employed, and you're looking. So this is just looking across the board, no matter where you're at in your career. But it feels like you can do it if and when you're ready to make a move, like a physical move to a different city, state, province, or country, because this is a big outreach card. And by the way, with respect to business in general, whether it's your current job or you're looking for stuff, this can be publication or distribution. So some of you have a chance to really go big, like a product, service, or creative work can get out there to the larger public, but that's the next step, and it's kind of hinging on your readiness for that, okay? Let's see, what else is coming through? This is interesting. Again, this is your choice. This is your decision. Don't do it if you don't want to do it. I still get a lot of pressure here externally from parent, from maybe like teacher or friend or family. And it's sort of like, you do this, don't do this. You've got to make sure it's what you want for it to land, for it to be something that over time is something you feel really good about. You are overdue for this sort of leadership role. It's just a question of readiness, folks, okay? And this is entrepreneurial. It can be a partnership. Remember, we had that beautiful Two of Cups energy that came forth. So you could be starting a business with someone. That makes it a lot easier than just doing it on your own. For those of you that are either retired or a student or just don't really need to focus on finding a job at the moment, let's see what we've got here. For the retired folks, travel is coming through and family. I mean, I would expect that. We also see a development of something unique and new. Just because you're not working, I mean, listen, if I were retired, I would just write another book. I would create a tarot, like my own deck. I would travel and see the world. Like, there's so many things to do. You don't stop because that part stopped. You then start to work for yourself or start to focus on yourself. So the Magician and the Three of Pentacles are learning and expansion, but for one's own self, not for material gain and not for acceptance. So definitely see that if you want that. Love could be coming into your life. We're not even in it, but we see it here. And good for you. If you're a student, everything I talked about earlier is super important. It has to feel right. You're not doing it for mom or dad. You may have too much on your plate, by the way. These two cards, this is a lot. This is finding balance in this busy schedule. So make sure that you're taking time to do that. And maybe you want to study abroad. And that could be a really great experience. And that's all I'm picking up on with this. It's a new start. No matter what you're doing, it should feel like it's different and it's new. No rinse and repeat in this period of time. Let's move from wealth to love. Shambhala initiations. Okay. This card was reversed, but let's read it upright. It says, retreating to recharge, trusting in the process, Dharma. All right. That's a lot. That's a lot of stuff, Kyle. Kyle Gray made this deck. Okay, so we'll take it one by one. The first one is the most important one, and the Fool helps us do it. It doesn't have to be difficult to recharge. Apollo helps me do it before every reading, and I don't rush him. Usually I calibrate enough time. I woke up a little late today. So we take a walk. I clear my head. I give him time. I talk to the neighbors. It's a nice way to recharge. Taking a nap can be recharging, reading a book, exercising, whatever you need to do, but do it and maybe change up the environment a little bit. Trusting in the process. Things don't happen overnight. This royal jelly queen bee energy that we've been talking about today, or the cocooning energy that was, part of the moth message as well. All of that takes days, weeks, or months to fully happen. So trust in the process and don't worry if you don't see the growth overnight. And then basically just really connecting to this moment in time. I say this a lot, but you live many lives, but you only live this one once. So try to make the most of it and have some fun. And hopefully you can do that with the people that you're with. Now let's break this down into 3 categories. And a lot of this stuff, it's interesting, the more I've been reading over the past few years, what we do in our relationships and work, there's a lot of the same stuff because it's just different work-oriented messages that are coming through. You're working on it with your partner, so I see a lot of similarities here. But, okay, let's see what's going on here. First things first, for those in a relationship, then we'll move on to all the other categories. There's 2 strong personalities. Neither are communicating very much. A Queen of Wands just does what she wants when she wants, and the Chariot is already two steps ahead of you sometimes. So biggest opportunity here, and they're both busy, is just to slow down and to talk. Communication. I don't know why it's been happening a lot this month. I get it in my daily reads, but when I'm looking at the monthly or the weeklies, we're not getting a lot of swords. They come through in different cards, but we're not seeing, like I see them here, but they're not actually, I want to see like an ace or a page or a knight or etc. So more communication. It's missing from the spread. And energetically in January and February, I'm not seeing as much communication as there could or should be. Something really big is happening. So for some of you, it can just be taking the relationship to the next level, like I talked about, moving in, getting married, signing a prenuptial, whatever it is. There's some big stuff that's going on here. And that is a new beginning and a new chapter. There could be birth as well. We're not really seeing it here, but that is part of the 10 of Pentacles. Typically, we see a baby, we see the parents, we see an older person, we see a dog. So this is the whole cycle of life here. So something big. So as long as you're in it together, you're good. But we just need to see more together time, more communication. And as long as that's happening, then things are good. What I like about this spread, you've worked hard to get here. The 3 leading to the 10 of Pentacles, firm foundations. I like that we still see love and playfulness here with the Knight of Cups. I like that there's still chemistry, but it feels like the flame is flickering a bit because of the busyness, because there could be a long distance component. So just coming together and talking and spending time together and taking the walk that we see in this card can really sort of like do amazing things. Some of you are on the fence. So this isn't always a married spread. It can just be like you've been together for a while. And it's like, are we going to go to this or am I going here? And it's decision time. And again, what's missing is the communication. Don't force it. That same fireworks graphic that I put, like I said, it makes sense here. Either that passionate flame is there or it's not. And either you're both working to create that passion or you're not. And that's going to help you decide. So for some of you, it's decision time. And some of you just want to be a parent. I'm getting the paternal energy or maternal energy coming through. Resetting it. If you're looking for love right now, can you find it? Yes. It's here. We have a manifesting card and we have what you're manifesting. So yes, you can manifest love. This person isn't around you necessarily. The World card could be someone from a different group, a different country, a different space. It's not your normal, it's not the normal sort of circles that you travel. So that's why the Fool is here to help you get out there. By the way, walking your dog is one way that you might meet somebody. That's something that they're great for, starting up conversations with people. So get out there, walk your dog. Walk your cat if your cat likes to be walked. You laugh, but I've actually seen some people in Los Angeles do that. It's the most bizarre thing because they'll be walking along and then the cat climbs the tree and they're just like looking at their phone. I was like, this is weird. What is going on? But cats like to walk sometimes too. I've also seen them in the backpacks. Pets in general are great ways to start a conversation. So if you have one, get out there in the world. It may help you. What am I picking up on in this relationship? Again, strong personalities, very decisive energy from both points. The most challenging thing sometimes, it's not making a decision. It's who's going to get to steer the ship, who gets to be the one. You both have clear ideas of what you want. So one thing that you can really work on is finding a place where you know that sometimes being right is enough. You don't have to say it, or that you're going to find someone that has good listening skills and you can just practice your own listening skills so that like energy attracts like energy. But if the spark is there, good. If it isn't, don't do it. The reversal of this is just a cautionary note on that. We'll look at the lesson. I think the lesson to release overall in love, we talked about that earlier, was the process. Like love isn't a Hallmark movie. It doesn't get solved in 50 minutes. Love is this. Here's the lesson in love overall. For those looking for love or in love, it's this. It's partnership. I like the term partner over boyfriend or girlfriend because typically it shows that you're both in that sort of, in it to win it. So if you're in it to win it, you'll win it. If not, it just becomes a burden. It becomes taxing. You end up putting in the energy of parental energy, like mother or father. So your partner is not your child. They are your partner and vice versa. So the big lesson, the big opportunity is to support, to illuminate, to inspire, to partner with, but not to parent the partner. That's what I picked up on that. For those that are looking, let me see if there's anything else that is coming through. It could come while you're traveling. We have 2 cards that are showing, actually 3. So this can be like flying through the world, like airplane. This can be automobile. This is walking. Lots of energy around just getting out in the world. And it's not necessarily swiping in a direction and matching on an app. It's actually just being out there. And this is also family or work gatherings. So travel and gatherings are the way to kind of connect with someone. We have Piscean energy coming through very strongly here, but it could be Cancer, could be any water sign really. So Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, definitely strong energy coming forth for that. And that's everything for those that are looking. One last thing. You could be dating someone who is divorced. And there may be a child in the picture as well with this, or it's just a matter of like, getting to know the dating history a little bit. There's a little energy around that that's coming through. Nothing cautionary. It's just something I'm picking up on. Okay, if you are single and happy, here's what I see. I mean, a lot of this is where it blends a bit with the work stuff, but it feels like the most important thing here for those that are single and happy, it's really just unapologetically being yourself. Again, this albino peacock. Not trying to... I think that you've gone past the chameleon phase. You're like, I don't need or want to blend in. The older you get, this is the I don't care in the best possible way. There's another way that I could state that, but it's just not caring because you know who you are. You can just have some fun. The big areas here that I see, it's personal development, because this is school. This is spiritual development. That is coming through really clear. And seeing the world, getting out there, having some fun. Can you meet new people? Yeah, you probably will through the Knight of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. But this is more like networking and sort of like chosen family. You could actually really be building on that. Close friends that feel even better than, siblings sometimes. And that's what I'm picking up on. Okay, now let's move on to your destiny card. I like this. It's connected to what I was talking about with writing it down. So we have the journal right here. We have a strategy message here, and it's saying, if I know what I want, then I can get there faster. I don't know why all song lyrics are coming through today. There's a Bangles song that's a cover, If She Knew What She Wants. And it's kind of like that. So the universe can give you what you want, but you have to know what you want. And I think here's one of the biggest lessons that's coming through. It's that you're not doing something because your parents told you. You're not doing something because of peer pressure. You're not doing something because the world thinks it's popular right now. You're doing something because it resonates. So figure out what the resonance is with you, what it is that you love, what it is that sparks this splendid torch here. Strategize and say, I want this, I deserve this, and I'm going to work to manifest this. And in doing so, when the Magician and High Priestess moments come through, you'll be ready because you will have been putting that into the energy field for a little bit. Let's take a look at the big idea for today. I feel like we can do a couple. So we're going to learn the lesson, and then let's look at the block too. So we'll look at I almost feel like it can just be like a blessing and a block sort of thing, but it's a lesson and a block, so I won't pull up that graphic. So it's a lesson and a block, very much like a blessing and a block, but not exactly the same because they're both difficult. Lessons require work. So let me give this another shuffle. First things first, what is the lesson overall? Okay, Eight of Pentacles, we'll take it. And what is your block? There were two to go. Oh, thank God we got a swords. Okay. All right, we'll start off with the lesson first. Eight of Pentacles. This is really just a chance for you to feel proud about what it is that you're about to finish. So if we're going to start off first with like students. I need another drink. Hold on. Okay. For students out there, and really just anybody, but if you're going to present something to the world, this is like a thesis or a project or something that matters, don't rush. And I guess that's the thing here, is not rushing, taking your time. So we have this being proud of what you do, and it's in all parts of your life. So it's not just students. So in anything that matters, you should give 100%. And we see someone here putting in each and every little detail on each of those pentacles. Each little coin is going to be as perfect or as special as possible. So you get, like I said, you may have multiple chances to do something, but only one chance for a first impression, and you only live this life one time. So in order to make the most of it, really give 100% at any given point. Even when it's something that you don't love, someone's depending on you to do your best. It's like if you're, one of the jobs that I had to just push through, I used to, when I was in high school and saving up for college, I would wait on tables. I did not love the work, but I did love the people, and I made sure that I remembered people's orders. And to this day, I still remember who wanted what drink, who wanted what configurations to their menu, because I could just, little tiny things, I'd be like, oh yeah. I would just bring it to their table sometimes. Like if they always got the same drink, I just brought it out. Like, what are we having today? Is it this or this for the main meal? And then sometimes it'd be something else. But there were certain things where they were amazed that you cared enough to do that, even if I was thinking, God, I have homework to do later, or it's so noisy here, or that customer treated me like crap. I had to give my best for the customer that came there for good service. So just put your best out there. It makes a difference. They didn't need to know all the other things I was dealing with in my life. They just wanted a good meal. So in your life, give your best even when you don't feel like giving your best, because people will remember you for that. And so always bring forth the best version of you, even if it's not perfect. It's not about being perfect. It's about the best you can do. That's the message. That's the lesson. Do your best or don't do it. Do something else. Okay, so now what is the blocks here? So there are two blocks. Back to the journal card. This is a different version of it. The Two of Wands is taking time to visualize, to plan. And I think we're all guilty of this from time to time. Sometimes we just jump from one thing to another, one relationship to another, one job, one living situation. That was me a year ago because there were so many other chaotic things. I lost a parent. There was a massive construction. I'm like, I just need to move. But I didn't slow down long enough to look at the place I moved to. And then it made me have to move a couple times. I was like, well, I should have just Two of Wands this situation and look at it. So engage with the Two of Wands and say, where am I? Where do I want to be? How is this getting me closer to my goal? Is this what I think it should be? Slow down. The slowing down is really important, and plan. If you've been in a relationship for a while and you're out of it, give yourself time to just figure out who you are rather than jumping into the next relationship. And same thing for jobs. If you just keep getting the same template, same type of job, and the same situation pops up, you have to reflect and think, what can I change? Because you did get a change card here with the World. Something needs to change. What can you change? That's one of the blocks here. And then the other reversal was this. Ace of Swords reverse, we talked about yesterday. That is being direct, speaking up, taking action. In the upright position, it's also about making sure that everything you're doing is progressing the sort of goal that you have in mind. Each word, each action, all of it. So just making sure it's alignment. So here we have two different things. We have a lack of planning and a lack of alignment. So plan and really make sure that each step that you take and each word that you make, now I'm sounding like a police song, is going in the right direction. Otherwise, don't do it. Okay? Take your time, do it well. Focus on what the goal and the vision is. Make sure that steps, actions, thoughts back that up. Okay? Some pretty powerful stuff, actually, that came through today. And just looking at the overarching spread here, let's just highlight that this was all kind of like beautiful stuff here. The big thing in the environment is expansion. The big opportunity is discovery of your own power. Possibly the scariest thing is taking the first step. That's what the Fool has to do. But you don't have to do it alone. So there you go. All right, we're going to now get ready for the final components of this reading. Before we do that, a quick reminder, if you wouldn't mind, it's 100% free. Please like and subscribe, and also give me a follow on social media if you haven't already. Thanks to everybody who gave back. I will acknowledge that at the end. I know Dakota's been doing a great job doing that while we've been talking. So let's get ready for a meditation. There'll be one more card that I pull at the very end of this reading. And with that, basically you can ask anything that hasn't yet been answered. But let's set up the meditation first and foremost. So I like the idea of becoming the queen bee, even though it wasn't necessarily what was chosen for today. So let's imagine, if you will, that you are you're part of this sort of cosmic beehive. You can still be in human form, but just imagine that you're embodying the energy of a bee, which is good for pollinating, creating, moving things around. So if there has been stagnation, listen to the hum of the bees in the background and imagine that vibration is starting to integrate with your body. You can even make the sound if you're at home, just kind of like buzzing, or you can kind of move with this if you want to while I'm playing the singing bowl. I'm not going to necessarily do that because I need to speak, but really focus on activating the throat chakra. Any kind of mantra work will work here as well. And see yourself moving. Let's imagine you've just come through the process of developing into that queen bee energy. Let's imagine now that through, because you connect to the hive energy. So imagine that you can kind of psychically connect with each worker bee as they move out into the world. You're seeing the flowers, you're seeing the world, you're seeing the movement of resources, which is kind of what we've got with these two cards here, resources moving toward you. See yourself as the person calling those into you. You're the queen bee, so you can stay put, but you have this big team around you that's going to bring resources into your energy field. If you feel comfortable, if you're not phobic of the bees, you can imagine that there are a few that are sort of like rotating in each color of the chakras from head to toe. If you don't like bees, just imagine that you could place like flowers in those areas instead. That would attract butterflies or other sort of pollinators. So either flowers or bees, let's put something that is going to be connected to the energy of pollination and movement. Now, close your eyes if you haven't already. Take a nice deep breath and just put out to the universe a simple thought. I am ready to receive. Exhale. See yourself as a magnet. See yourself as a star. See yourself as the queen bee, capable of attracting, manifesting, organizing, compelling things to come into your energy field. Remember that things are a process, so it doesn't always happen overnight. That does not mean, however, that growth is not taking shape or form. It's just something that's a little more subtle. If you would, please open your eyes, and I'd like you to focus on one last question, anything that you might have. It could be a block, it could be an opportunity, it could be something related to love. Focus on that question, and I'm going to pull one final card from Spirit to see what is coming forth. Okay, we like it. It's the second time we've gotten the Emperor card reversed, though. I told you earlier that I read the Father card like Emperor energy or Divine Masculine. we have it coming through one more time as a reversal. So first, let me just read the subtleties of the card, and then I'll try to give you a yes, no if you ask that. But the subtlety of an Emperor reversed is reclamation of power, and also not just that realization. Like, I realize I can do this. I always could. It's like a baby bird that the mama bird has to push from the nest, and they fly. And so sometimes you're pushed into a situation where you have no choice but to fly. So you can fly. And that's basically what this is showing. Notice how he is connecting with the crystal ball energy that we would see in the High Priestess, or we saw in the Two of Wands. So he is reaffirming all the things that we talked about when we were looking at the two big idea, or the three big idea cards that I had. So it's making sure that movement is strategic. It's like a chessboard. You're thinking beyond this move. You're thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead, if not beyond that. You are not your mother or your father. So they may have made some mistakes or had some challenges, but that was them. It's not you. And so you get to write a new chapter or a different chapter. The biggest opportunity this week is in establishing your authority, pushing back on people that try to step in and test that. And basically, I think repetition and confidence in that area is going to be really key. As a yes or no, it's a yes, comma. Whenever it's a reverse, I'm going to have a caveat or a comma when I talk about this. Yes, but you shouldn't have to force it. And yes, ... but sometimes you have to stand up to someone who's trying to push you in a different direction. So keep the integrity of your idea. Keep your own integrity. Listen to your own morals and integrity. And that is the most important thing, because I get a lot of pushy. There's people this week that may try to push you or convince you or sell you on something that doesn't feel right. You know what's best. Listen to that, okay? And that's what we've got. All right. I think I went a little bit over today, but it was totally worth it. I went a lot over today. We had a lot to talk about today. Thank you guys for being present. I do appreciate that. And sometimes these go 20 minutes longer. I guess I just had a lot to say. Okay, so focusing quickly here on those who gave back. Give me just a moment. And I want to say thank you to those who gifted the memberships first, and then I will say welcome to the new members and welcome to those that gave super stickers. Super stickers. Try to say that 3 times fast. All right, Misha, thank you for gifting a membership. I appreciate that. Jamie, thanks for being a member for 3 months. Let's see, there were more here. 20 members. Wait, really? Oh my God, Paula B, 20 memberships. You're amazing. Thank you for that. Raven gifting 1 membership. Colette for 5, also awesome. And we had a few new members as well, so I'm going to welcome those too. Mira and Marshall, but let me go through the whole list here to everybody that gave back. That's such a nice gift. It's completely optional, by the way, but members get to vote. And once I kind of launch some other projects, there'll be some additional things, but mostly it's just a great way to foster community here. So thanks, guys. You rock. Okay. So members, I'm going to say welcome to everybody here. Calculated Healing, Hattie or Haiti, B. Deidre, Melinda, Tender Loving Care, Aquin, Best Bridget, Little Red Wolf, Mira, Olivia, Sunflowers, Billion Dollar Brian, M. Pal, Kimberly, Karina, Kim Priestess, Marshall, Chan, Alchemy of Truth, Christina, Janet, Sylvia, LC, Dog Mom, B. Rabbit 313, Jennifer, Dandy, Asterisk, let's see, The Film Maven, Samantha, let's see, Naturlig Hund? I can't read the rest, but sorry if I mispronounced that. Ivan, and I think we got everybody there. Wow, that's a lot. Thank you guys. That made my morning. I'm glad we went a little bit over today and had a chance to kind of let all of you come forth. I appreciate that. All right, saying thank you to super stickers. Let's see who's here. Thank you to E. Demu, Lalina 915, Linda Ann, Ralu 15, Lydia Fitzgerald, Allison Galbraith, I think it is, Lydia Fitzgerald again, Misha Crane, Sammy B, Jeannie Hart, Jamie Pelly, Monica P, I'm just going to leave it at that, and Enzo Lorenzo. Thanks, guys. What a nice surprise to get so much support today. I do appreciate that. Let me see if I missed anything. I think I got it all. If I did, apologies. I know that Dakota saw it, and I'll see it on the replay. All right, I think that's it. Thanks, guys, for everything. I promised to bring Apollo up here at the end, so I will. A quick reminder before I do it, like I said earlier, it's 100% free, but if you haven't already liked and subscribed, I would appreciate that. It does help the channel growth, so thank you for that. In addition to subscribing, you can follow me on social media. You can give back, as you already did, through Super Chats. A reminder, I do not give any private readings, so if somebody does that, please block and let me know. New videos are released every Monday, Thursday, Friday. I'm always here on Sundays at 9:15-ish, depending on Apollo. And that's it. All right, let's bring Apollo up for a second. Buddy, we'll go on a walk after this if you say hi. Yeah. He says, Dad, I was resting. All right, so from Apollo and myself, I wish you a fantastic week ahead. You are ready, believe it or not, to move past these blocks and connect with that inner high priestess and inner queen bee energy. So please do. And take care of yourself. Take care of your fur babies if you have them as well. I'll see you guys soon. Until then, much love and light. Thank you.